Perfect. Hello, I'm here with Rune from MakerDAO. He's the CEO, and we're going to try to do a little bit of TeamTalks here live for the first time. So, hello, Rune. So, first, as the initial introduction here, I just want to ask you if you can tell us who you are and what's your role in MakerDAO.
Yes, so I'm Rune Christensen. I'm the founder and CEO of Maker, and I spend most of my time leading the organization and representing it at public events, and yet design the system itself, so the mechanics of the stablecoin. And
you're a developer, or you're like a project man, or what's your background?
I'm really more of an economics person, focused person, and also very tech focused. But I don't actually code nowadays, because we have a really big and very talented team of coders.
Yeah. So now you're more managing the project.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, that sounds good. And what would you say, if you can describe it shortly, what are MakerDAO's key features?
Yeah, so MakerDAO is a platform on the Ethereum blockchain that creates stability necessary for the blockchain to function. And we do this in the form of the DAI stablecoin. So DAI is a cryptocurrency with price stability. Basically, it's a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, except that it's worth $1. And that means that with this stability, you now have certainty, and you now have a kind of familiarity that enables you to actually create useful applications that end users will actually like. So it enables us to actually finally breach this barrier to adoption that has been present in the blockchain space until now, where blockchain has been seen as this kind of like esoteric or very like niche type of technology, where we instead now can move to actually building real applications that just focus on solving problems in the real world. So as an example, we have this really interesting recent partnership we are doing with Tradeshift, which is the biggest startup in Denmark, and they have this enormous global supply chain platform with more than 1.5 million companies on the platform. In particular, a lot of small businesses, and small businesses always have this major issue with their payment terms, where basically whenever they sell something to a big company, they basically have to send their goods, and then they wait 3 months before they actually get paid. And this is a big problem. On a global scale, it's a top 3 reason why small businesses fail, because they basically run out of money in this 3-month window. And what we've created is a blockchain-based trade finance platform. So we've actually opened up the global financial marketplace for these small businesses to finance these transactions, so they can get some finance, they can get some money up front when they're doing this trade.
Okay, and that sounds good. I will just cut you off, because that actually answers the next question, which is why does the world need MakerDAO? I think you answered that really beautifully there. And just to keep it short, I will just go on, because I think that was a good answer. So who do you see like your main competitors, and why are you better or different than your main competitors globally?
So it's generally recognized there exist 3 types of stablecoins. So the first type is the IOU stablecoin. And that's something like Tether or TrueUSD or other coins like that, where basically what it is a company, like a regular old school centralized company that has a bank account, and they have some dollars in their bank account, and then they issue a token, and then they claim that if you come to them with their token, they'll exchange that for $1 in their bank account, for instance. And this works very well in terms of stability, right? Because it's pretty straightforward that if you have $1 in a bank account, the token will be stable. But the problem is it's not so, it isn't decentralized at all, right? So it's kind of ignoring a lot of the benefits of blockchain, because it's really just a centralized system where you're basically going back to trusting the banks.
But yours is decentralized. MakerDAO has a decentralized stablecoin system.
Yeah, that's right. So MakerDAO falls into this second class of stablecoins called crypto-collateralized stablecoins. So the way it works is that there is a decentralized smart contract infrastructure that the whole system runs on. And so on this infrastructure, basically, it's like a system that automatically issues and controls the supply of the stablecoin to keep it in equilibrium with the demand. Balancing supply and demand, and then you actually have a decentralized system where, on one hand, you have stability. On one hand, you keep you have the stability just like these centralized like IOU tokens, but you also keep the benefits of the blockchain.
So you have the stability from the fiat currencies, for example, and you have all the nice things from cryptocurrencies, like instant transactions, globally transactions with no extra fees, and all the decentralization.
Yeah,
it's like a mix of those two capacities.
Yeah,
that sounds really good. Okay, let's move on. Let's keep this short and precise. Let's move on to your team. How is your team looking right now, and what plans do you have of expanding your team in the future?
So our team is currently 73 people in more than 9 offices across 4 continents. And we right now are about 50-50 in terms of developers and business personnel. And we plan to basically continue growing in this fashion, where we focus heavily on expanding our development capabilities, but at the same time also have a lot of focus on like sales, business development, marketing, and making the business side of the operation actually go around.
Yeah, so you're heavily invested in actually making it into a viable product, a viable platform, and more than just a cryptocurrency looking to make ICO and getting some money. You're actually developing the product, making it into a real world company, making revenue, and having people adopting it and all this stuff. You're focusing on this. That's really beautiful. That's what's missing from a lot of the space actually. So it's good to hear that. Let's go a little bit on. Let's see into the future, the foreseen future. Where do you see MakerDAO in 1 year?
So a year from now, the biggest difference will be that we've actually released the full version of our system. So currently we only have our technical beta running, which is called single collateral DAI. And what we're about to launch over the coming months is multi-collateral DAI, which is really the full release of the system that supports many different types of crypto tokens as the backing asset behind the DAI stablecoin. In addition to that, we will also be releasing multiple different types of stablecoins. So we will have, in addition to the US dollar, also have euro, yuan, pounds, and so on.
Can I just ask a question here? Are you expecting to launch other stablecoins that are not pegged towards fiat currencies, or is it all pegged towards fiat currencies?
Yeah, so that's actually another product that's also coming.
Okay.
Over the course of 2019. So in addition to these synthetic fiat currencies, as we call them, right? So that's basically a stable coin for every fiat currency. We'll also have synthetic assets.
Okay.
So that's actually any type of asset that there's demand for. We'll be able to replicate that.
Like in gold?
Gold, stocks, like stock indices, something like this. The SP 500, for instance.
Oh shit.
And basically, yeah, like anything there's demand for. Even something very strange, like the temperature or something. You could even make
okay.
You could make stable coins for that as well.
Interesting. Maybe not a good choice for us here in Denmark, but other places could be good. Okay, so let's do the last question. Let's keep this short and precise. Where do you see MakerDAO in 10 years?
In 10 years, I expect that we actually, if we do our job right, we will be a major part of the global financial infrastructure. And actually be running things like interbank settlements, stuff, like regular sort of banking infrastructure for, in particular, the areas that are currently unbanked. So like areas that currently have very little financial infrastructure.
Like the third world.
Yeah, exactly right. Like the third world, we expect them to essentially leapfrog the first generation of financial systems and move straight to the blockchain.
Let me just ask now that we have this question, do you have, because some crypto projects, like I know Bitcoin is having a lot of adoption in Venezuela, and Dash have been over there making some camps and actually giving out free Dash to people making a wallet. So we have some crypto projects who are out there, also more, who are out there and really trying to get a launch and starting to get a head start in these third world countries. Do you have any specific plans of trying to get into these markets, or are you just hoping for them to adopt you?
Well, so we have an office in Buenos Aires, so we have a very strong focus on South America in particular, right?
Yeah.
Exactly because, Venezuela and Argentina and other countries, they do have those currency issues. We also have somewhat of a focus on Venezuela in particular, where we are working with some groups there to also work on this like actual underground adoption effort. But in general, we're still in the phase where we need the technology to be completely ready, and then next step really is like that actual
adoption.
like being present on the ground and driving adoption that way.
Okay, and that's the next phase you're looking into as soon as you're done with the development. And
Yes.
I expect this to be that will be quite close. It seems like you're pretty far in the development. Am I right about that? Or
Yeah.
how do you see it?
So about 2 weeks ago, we actually launched the full version of the system on the Koban testnet.
Yeah.
So we have a functional prototype of all the smart contracts.
Yeah.
So basically where we are now is just we need to build this like initial layer of user interfaces around the basic smart contracts, and then just do a lot of testing and a lot of security testing in particular. Security being something we're extremely focused on.
Of course.
And we actually are among the world leaders in formal verification. So we really have a strong focus on really creating those like fundamental guarantees that it's not going to get hacked.
Yeah.
Because that's the big downside of having a big on-chain system, right? So you really need to make sure the stuff isn't going to get hacked, but rather it is just going to be safe to run forever, basically.
Yeah. That sounds really good. Okay, and now we hit the 10 minutes and actually a little bit above. So let's. I don't want this interview to be longer, even though it's a very interesting talk. So thank you, Rune, for taking the time.
Thanks a
and
lot.
good luck with MakerDAO, and I hope to see you in the future.
Thank you.